Hey guys, what up? So it's that time of year again. The 2021 Mr. Olympia is officially underway this weekend, so let's kick it off with the 212 division. I want to get my thoughts out on this prejudging before they finish it off at the finals tonight. So this was the top three call-out featuring Shaun Clarida, Derek Lunsford, and Kamal Elgnargni from left to right respectively. Now they did give each man a chance in the center, so I wouldn't make too much of Derek standing there now. But since the live stream is a bit of a hot mess this year and it started sputtering every 3 seconds like clockwork towards the end of this comparison, we're just going to go through each pose once. And right here in the front relaxed, I gotta say, my eyes go straight to Lunsford. Just incredible width through the lats. He's so much bigger than the others, it's not even funny. Yes, Clarida was probably in better condition overall, but structurally, it's no contest. Kamal looks solid here upstairs, great midsection, but what's going on with his left leg? It looks noticeably smaller than the right one, and doesn't have any real sweep. Anyway, neither Clarida nor Elgnargni were at their best here. I thought they were both sharper last year. But on the other hand, this might just be Derek's all-time best appearance thus far. Still, nobody was truly 100%, they all have room for improvement, so we got a battle on our hands. In the front double, I could see this going one of two ways. If we're just focusing on conditioning, then Clarida hangs on. He's the hardest from the front and has some nice little striations there in the quads. But if we're paying more attention to structure and size, then it's Lunsford all the way. His fullness in the arms and lats is very impressive here, and the vacuum is a nice touch. However, he still looks kinda soft. He always seems to retain water from the front and the upper body, particularly in the arms and chest. Even so, I'm leaning towards Derek because his mass and proportions are really eye-catching. Kamal's last here because not only does he have a bit of an asymmetry going on there in the legs, but also with the arms as well. The left one looks kinda down compared to the right, so basically his whole left side? I don't know, did he have an injury or something? I know that age-wise he's getting up there, so maybe this is just simple wear and tear, but he was definitely a little better last year. The front lat spread also goes to Lunsford. The lats are overwhelming, and again, this is more of a structural pose, and Clarida, as a smaller, narrow guy, cannot keep up. Shaun Clarida was always a vulnerable champ because he's given up like 20 pounds or so compared to many of these other contenders, so he has to be essentially 100% on the money to beat them. And here at prejudging, he wasn't. Now, don't get me wrong, he was not off by any means. He still looked great, but he's probably closer to, 95, 96% than a full 100, and that might not be enough this time. Derek is lacking sharpness up top, though. His pecs look a little watery, and he's winning purely off structure right now. Kamal's chest looks better, but that's about the only area I prefer on him. Well, that and maybe the calves, for all that they're worth these days. But yeah, Clarida is simply too narrow across the shoulders. The chest looks small and pinched. And if you want to say he's beating Kamal in this pose, then it's purely off the lower body because he does have some excellent quad sweep. Personally, though, I'd put him in last. In the side chest, it's Derek for me again. And yeah, go ahead, call me biased, call me a fanboy. I am a fan of his physique, but don't worry, Clarida will have his time to shine in a moment. As for right now, Derek has the deepest cuts in the legs, he's the biggest upstairs, and is very well balanced. Clarida has great delts and arms, very bubbly, but his pecs are weak. And Kamal can't quite match Derek through the lower body, nor the fullness through the arms and delts. He is a bit drier up top, though, so overall, I'm kind of undecided on who should get second here, but I'd give Lunsford a slight edge in this pose. Turning around in the back double, Clarida puts up a hell of a fight. Super round mounds of muscle everywhere, like the back, the arms, the shoulders, you name it, and very good in the glutes and hams. But again, it's a size issue. Derek is on a similar level conditioning-wise, but completely blows him out of the water in terms of mass. Significantly wider, if anything, he's even more separated through the traps and lower lats, and the glutes are absolutely shredded. Kamal has a Dorian Yates level of dryness going on through his back right now. It's incredible. But unfortunately, his limbs kind of let him down. He's the least diced below the waist here, and again, that left arm appears atrophied. Can't take away from his back or calves, though. So this is very close, but Derek edges it out with Shaun in second. Same goes for the rear lat spread. Clarida looks impressive here and has got to be maxing out his smaller frame, but he can't compete with all that width. Lunsford has a better taper, more definition down the center of his back, and again with those cheese grater glutes, good luck. Elgnargni's definitely third here as he still struggles to execute this shot properly. Turning back around to the side triceps, I tell you what, this is the first pose I'd give to the defending champ. Clarida's tris and delts look absolutely gigantic here, and he seems to be showing more detail. Even his legs look sharper now than they did a moment ago in the side chest. So not sure if he was getting stronger as they went along, or if it's just the posing, but in any case, I'd give him the nod here. Derek's demonstrating commendable control over his midsection, keeping that core tight, and he looks really good also. Kamal's got the best abs and obliques, but I feel he's rotating a little too much. This isn't necessarily a flaw or a mistake. Maybe he was just aiming towards the judges, but it doesn't look optimal from this camera angle. In the ab and thigh, this is sorta apples and oranges now. Shaun's got the blockiest abs, and I mean that in a good way, but his thighs aren't showcasing the same razor-sharp feathering that they were in 2020. Derek's kind of that jack-of-all-trades who's well-rounded, but isn't necessarily the best in any one area, except maybe lat taper if you want to count that. Kamal has the most chiseled and symmetrical midsection by far, and some really good quad separation to boot, but he's also the flattest. So, yikes, this is probably the hardest one to call yet. I could see an argument for any one of them, but personally feel it's gotta be Derek or Kamal. If Clarida could coax out some more feathering like he usually has here, then he could be winning it, but since it's absent at the moment, I think that knocks him down a peg. And finally, in the most muscular, yeah, just crazy muscle bellies on the giant killer. Kamal's got a great hands-on hip, but that leg asymmetry is really distracting. And Derek, he needs to figure this one out because frankly this just isn't doing it. His outline's fine, but there's basically nothing going on through the pecs and delts. He's got like zero separation there, so I'd have to drop him to third for this pose. Despite all that mass he's carrying, he looks way too smooth right now. I'd give the nod to Clarida in the most muscular. Oh look, and there's that feathering, speak of the devil. Too bad it wasn't showing in the ab shot earlier. So yeah, now they start shuffling them around and they keep going, but as you can see, the stream sucked and kept buffering every couple seconds, so it made it really hard to watch. Luckily, we've already had a chance to go through all the mandatories though. Personally, for as much as I favored Lunsford, I'm betting it was very close, with at least a couple judges voting for Clarida. This is always hard to judge from the relatively crappy live stream footage, so we won't know until later how it all turns out. But yeah, it's still very much up in the air, I'd say. Nobody really ran away with it, and even though I would have Derek in first after prejudging, that's not necessarily how the judges saw it. Clarida could still easily win this thing. As for Kamal, I think he looked very good, but is definitely on the decline compared to last year, so I don't see him moving past third place. But what did you guys think? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for more Olympia analysis. I can't wait for the open class tonight. That's where the real fun starts. But until then, thank you for watching. It's the Tominator signing off, and I'll be back.